So Rivals of Aether 2 just came out. Well, not just came out a while ago, but it took me a while to make this video. And oh my god, is it beautiful. If you have ever been interested in Smash Bros, you owe it to yourself to play Rivals. Because this game does truly feel like the only alternative to Smash Bros I've ever played. I'm not gonna say it's a Smash killer, because that's Nintendo we're talking about. No game is a Smash killer, but it is a very solid alternative. This game somehow finds like the perfect middle ground between melee mechanics, the general smoothness of playing a game like Smash Ultimate, aside from its atrocious buffer system, and enough unique features and elements that make the game stand out from Smash Bros. So let's go over some of those things and why I think you should play this game. The biggest element for why you should play this game is the movement. The movement in this game feels amazing. It's kind of a middle ground between Smash Melee and Smash Ultimate. The characters aren't quite slippery enough such that they feel like melee characters, where unless you have put in an ungodly amount of hours into the game, you feel like you can't even move around without sliding all over the place. But it's not nearly as clunky as Ultimate can feel, where you don't feel like you can do anything. It feels so satisfying to string together combos in this game. It feels so good to play online in this game. Like, there's barely any lag. I've seen single-digit pings in a fighting game. That's how good the netcode for this is. Every single character feels unique. There's no character where I'm like, oh yeah, that's this character. Like, I guess Rano feels kinda like Sheik, or maybe a bit of Greninja. There are some moves here and there that are very one-to-one with their Smash Bros counterparts. But for the most part, nah man, this game is buttery smooth, plays amazingly, and really feels like its own thing. Having little added benefits to it too, like special pummels, special get-up attacks, having a parry system that lets you reflect projectiles in addition to shields, so that you get the best of Rivals 1's defensive gameplay, but also with the depth and complexity of Melee's shields. Oh my god, man, it's fucking amazing. The fact that you can stream this game in a tournament setting without getting Nintendo sent after you to beat you to death? That's awesome! Just every little element of this game puts such a big smile on my face. It feels like a fighting game I want to dedicate time into. Every character somehow feels very viable, to the point where they can even feel absolutely broken, but none of them really stand out to me immediately as being like, well, that character just feels unfair. The maps are, oh my god, dude, the maps are so good in this game. Because of the way that Rivals deals with things like wall jumps, you can do a lot more crazy stuff with these maps. And I really still feel like they're only really scratching the surface, but there is enough variety in platform layouts, floors, walls, maps that can pineapple you, that it really does make this game feel really exciting to play and competitively focused, without making the maps too boring. There are actual cosmetics in this game, and you can earn them through the game, or through events, or with money. But all of those things are considerably better than the competition, aside from Smash Bros, because they don't have any skins. Also, moving forward with this game, there's just so many exciting things to look forward, like new characters getting added, or old favorites returning from Rivals 1, getting the workshop pack so we can finally see Ronald McDonald in 3D, getting the silly modes and dumb stuff that Rivals 1 got all the time, having actual events, prize pools, and just a real way to build the community up that the Rivals 1 game never really got the chance to do, and the fact that at some point in the future it will be coming to consoles. There are so many elements that really get me excited for this game, and I hope that me just sharing what I enjoyed about it gets you excited too. If you can, please go out and play this game. You deserve to play a fun, well-supported, and modern platform fighter. It still has all of the great benefits of the ones that came before. But let's talk about the character. First off, we got Maple. Maple is basically your go-to rush-down, very high-risk, very high-reward punish character. Her main thing is she wants to get this plant on people, or use the plants she plants on the ground to help follow up and do crazy stuff. I am not good enough at any of this yet, so don't look to me for tips on that. Then we have Zetterburn. He's kind of like your Shoto type, you know, fireball, pretty straightforward. He's got a shine, he's got Fox up B, and he's also very, very good. Then we have Arcane, who is very interesting. Your entire game plan centers around these puddles you put on the ground that either buff your strong attacks or can be used for recoveries. Probably also not the best character to start with, but you can do a lot of pretty cool stuff with. Then we got Forsburn, who is much more of your like trapper character. He's gonna kind of be farting out these big ass clouds all the time. He has a lot of very silly mechanics with this too, but he's sort of your archetypical trapper platform fighter character. Then we have Loxodon. He's a big heavy hitter. Kind of reminds me a bit of Dedede. You got this really annoying ball and he can like charge up fire all the time and he hits like a truck. Lots of command grabs. If you're playing into him, kind of think of him as Ganondorf. You gotta respect this space or you will die. Then we have Crag. Crag is a really interesting heavy. His up B lets him put a giant pillar underneath him and he likes throwing rocks at people. He is very fun to play, deceptively quick, and hits like a brick shithouse, pun intended. Then we have Fleet. Fleet's really interesting because she's like a bow character, but honestly, I don't find her nearly as annoying as this would usually be in a platform fight. I feel like in general, most projectiles in this game are kind of not that big of a deal, and since every character usually has either an answer to projectiles, a parry to reflect projectiles, shield to block projectiles, or some other unique mechanic to deal with it, I don't really find them nearly as annoying as they should be with the way they're set up. That being said, they do have some really satisfying combos and box surprisingly well, and have this cool mechanic where you basically put like a Sephiroth side B on people with your arrows sometimes, but if you get hit, it gets put on you. Then we got Raster. Raster is interesting because he's a very aerial focused character, which usually means I'd like them, but I don't really find Raster quite as fun to play. He's definitely interesting and he can only do smash attacks in the air, and he has a very, very high skill ceiling. So there's always just the chance that I'm mad cause bad with him, but I find him a little bit boring to play in my opinion, and he has a bit too much unique tech for me to really want to get into him. Rano or Rano, I don't know exactly which one. Basically your sort of Sheik archetype. Death by 1,000 cuts. He has really unique movement with his tongue, can let him like fly around the map really quick. And he has a lot of unique angles on his buttons. It's kind of hard to put into words, but he's a lot less intuitive with where people go than a lot of the other characters are. But when you get good at him, you get really good with him. He has some crazy combos, and his unique mechanic is this bubble. And the bubble lets him just sort of send people wherever he wants, or extend combos, set up tech chases. Just a really cool mechanic overall. And then we have Clarin. Clarin is basically your archetypical sortie. She's got a tipper counter that makes it so no projectiles can really be in play at all. Some really strong buttons with some wacky hitboxes. All these characters are a really fun time to play, and I highly recommend you pick any of them up. And there's more on the way, and the more on the way are all free. So like, what are you waiting for? Hop on the game. I want to see this game succeed. I'd love to make future content on it as well. So if you would like any of those things, please feel free to stick around. Because unlike Multiverses, I'm still coming back as soon as I can every time to play more of this game. And its future looks extremely bright. Have a good Tuesday. That feels weird to say.